U.S. President Donald Trump has paused military aid to Ukraine following his clash with Ukrainian President Zelenskyy last week. That's what a White House official has said. And deepening the fissure that has opened between the two one-time allies, the White House has announced a review and temporary pause on aid to ensure it supports a peaceful resolution. And I quote, the president has been clear that he's focused on peace. We need our partners to be committed to that goal as well. We're pausing and reviewing our aid to ensure that it is contributing to a solution. Additionally, all U.S. military equipment not yet in Ukraine would be halted, including weapons en route by air or sea and those held in transit areas in Poland. Trump directed Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth to implement the pause. We have with us my colleague Aditya Vadhavan joining us on the telecast. Aditya, now we're seeing U.S. is halting these military aids to Ukraine. So what does this imply for the Russia-Ukraine war?
Well, if you see, Ria, this will give an upper hand to Russia because Ukraine is very much dependent upon the U.S. aid, for sustaining this war, which has been going for two to three years, and so many Ukrainian soldiers and people have been killed in this war, and this was the specific reason that Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy visited Trump, where during the meeting at Oval House, war of words between Donald Trump and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy happened. So it is a very concerning situation at the moment because, but on the other hand, the entire European Union is rallying behind Ukraine. And, recently what we saw that the UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer has also showed full solidarity and support for Ukraine, saying that if required, UK troops are available for Ukraine support and can be deployed if required. We cannot let us just put this into perspective that the European Union, the NATO, is a very big force, consisting of 32 countries. Even if we were to think that US might exit NATO under Trump, still 31 countries, European Unions will still remain, and these the entire 31 countries, the full-fledged NATO can actually pose a great challenge to the Russia. So this needs to be seen in this perspective. That NATO is still rallying behind Ukraine, and this is an interesting scenario that is ongoing as far as the Russia-Ukraine war is concerned. Now it needs to be seen how this entire scenario unfolds. Yes, Ria.
We also have with us Group Captain UK Devnath, defense expert, joining us on the telecast. Group Captain UK Devnath, we have earlier seen that before in the last days of the Biden administration sent a lot of shipments and packages of weapons and a stockpile of weapons to Ukraine in a bid to large stockpiles of advanced weapons in its waning days to Ukraine in a help in this war. But now we're seeing that the Trump administration has a different approach to the Russia-Ukraine war, and this aid being stopped will have a major implication on the Russia-Ukraine war, which will not be seen in the recent weeks, but it will have an impact in the months to come later on Ukraine, and the implications will be huge for the fighting capabilities of Ukraine. So how do you think that Ukraine would be tackling this situation, and as well as is this a way to bring and corner Ukraine, to bring it to the negotiation table, to bring it on the peacemaking deal?
Yes, Ria, very delicate situation for Ukraine, very precarious position of Zelensky. Zelensky has been fighting this war against Russia for last 3 years, primarily because he was getting almost unconditional support from USA. Till now, USA claims, now Donald Trump claims that in last 3 years, more than $350 billion worth of aid and arms have been provided by USA to Ukraine. When Donald Trump came to power, before that, during election campaign itself, he had said that if he comes to power, he will stop the war in 1 day. Nevertheless, he took some time. Zelensky most probably knew it for last some time that USA will stop, and if not stop, then at least slow down the supply of weapons to Ukraine. Now, what we have to see is the response of other European Union countries. Will other countries like Germany, Britain, Italy, Poland, will they continue to supply arms, or in fact, they will have to increase the rate of supply of arms to compensate the reduction in supply of arms by USA? Uh, Zelensky needs these weapons to stop aggressive Russian forces. There is another possibility, Ria, that simultaneously Donald Trump, as he stops or at least gives a pause or slows down the supply of weapon to Ukraine, simultaneously probably Zelensky has taken some kind of an unwritten commitment from Putin that Putin will also reduce the aggressiveness against Ukrainian troops, thereby slowly bringing the situation to a level where both countries can think of talking to each other. Zelensky does need some assurance from European Union partners that they will not let him down. They have already given this promise in last 48 hours, but it remains to be seen whether they fructify this promise on ground. For example, Ria, Starmer has promised them troops, but 1,200 troops, that too peacekeeping troops, make no difference on ground. A very, very tiny force. Similarly, equipment profile of a peacekeeping force is always very, very different from a normal organized force. If Britain is giving peacekeeping force, they are armed with light weapons. Whereas if Britain is giving 1,200 normal one infantry battalion almost, then they have to be equipped with offensive weapons. If they have to fight against Russian troops, they have to be armed with tanks and heavy artillery. They have to be equipped with infantry combat vehicles. So commitment of European Union leaders till now is limited to what is called in Hindi Zubani promise. That means they have not done much on ground. Typical example is Poland. Poland has always said that it will come in aid of Ukraine. But in last 48 hours, since the time USA has kind of shunted out Zelensky, in last 48 hours, no support, no equipment or no arms, ammunition, weapons have moved from Poland to Ukraine. Yes, Zia?
All right. We also have with us Major Mohammad Ali Shah, defense expert, joining us on the telecast. Major Mohammad Ali Shah, we've seen this conflict has been going on for quite some time. Now we've seen that this decision to halt the military aid to Ukraine will have real consequences on the balance of the conflict, as well as this will help in strengthening Putin's hand. Bringing in also another question that I would like to pose to you is that Group Captain UK Devnath has talked about Europe's role right now. We've seen that a summit took place in which Europe is now at a crossroad in history where they also want to be on the negotiation table, and Zelensky was also present in that summit. So how do you think this all plays in the ongoing Russia-Ukraine war?
Okay, Ria, that's a very, very good question. Now, the European countries are all set to actually make Europe, to make Ukraine like, in a way, a occupying kind of, they have mentioned that, it should not be attacked. It should be totally self-sufficient. Now, the fact is the United States has temporarily, they have suspended all military aid to Ukraine. And this has happened when Ukraine was actually dependent upon America for everything, and that's how they were fighting the war. Now, this by the decision by Donald Trump, because in the Oval Office in the White House there was a heated argument between President Zelensky and President Trump, and which the whole world saw. It was quite viral, and President Donald Trump says, "Okay, I will temporarily halt all aid right now." Now, this order takes effect immediately after, which affects more than $1 billion in arms and ammunition, which was already in the pipeline on order. Now, Mr. Donald Trump, his directive also halts hundreds of millions of dollars of aid that Kyiv could have used only to buy new military hardware, now directly from US defense companies. So, in a way, it would be, yeah, as Group Captain Deva said, yes, unconditionally, US was providing aid, but at the end of the day, if you see, US was also getting business. With this stopping, of course, it's going to affect Ukraine big time. And as you said, it is to get Ukraine on the table to corner Ukraine, to come on the negotiating table. And President Donald Trump has also said until Ukraine comes on the negotiation table for negotiations. Now, the tariff countdown, and let me talk on that. With just hours until sweeping tariffs were set to take off between Canada and Mexico. Now, President Trump had said that there was no room left for either country to strike a last-minute deal to avert the levies. So that means that they are all set. Mr. Trump said that brought 25% tariffs on Mexican and Canadian imports, where additional 10% for Chinese goods. They were to come into effect over here. So this is most certainly already the share market, if you see, of the world globally, of the defense companies, because the European countries want to equip Ukraine. So the stock markets of the defense companies like Lockheed Martin and BAE Systems and many other defense companies, they have gone up. But if you see overall, the stocks and shares of the other companies, which are non-military companies, they would suffer over here. So now, obviously, Ukraine will not be able to go forward. I'll give a small example for everyone to understand. I'll conclude on that. Ria, supposing I'm driving from Delhi to Lucknow and there's no fuel station on the way and I run out of fuel, would I be able to go ahead? I would not be. I'll be cornered to stop, to halt, to seize over there. So Ukraine will, when the arms and ammunition are cut from, the aid is cut from US, Ukraine would be forced to actually stay on there and come to the negotiation table. So I guess it is to force Ukraine to come to the negotiation table.
For more such videos, subscribe to the Newsx YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.